Ladies and gentlemen, that was a thorough and utter cat's ass kicking on the Edmonton Oilers. Florida Panthers tonight win 6-1 in an absolute Game 3 beatdown. Not only kicked their ass on the ice with pucks, also won basically every fight and seemingly mentally broke the Edmonton Oilers today. I mean, just absolutely had them in hell the entire game. They could not stay out of the penalty box, and they just wanted to fight the Cats all freaking night long. And as the Cats were laughing in their face, they were lighting up the scoreboard in the easiest win thus far in this Stanley Cup Finals. Cats up 2-1 filthy. And you already know where this is headed, ladies and gentlemen. But today, right off the bat, Brad Marchand getting the Cats on the board first. This dude, assisted by the Finn twins, absolutely killing it. 3 straight goals for the Cats, all by Brad Marchand. And that dude was in the absolute zone and sent this game to an absolute tizzy. You had... It really rallied from the DJ Khaled Open because I think he was even uncomfortable with what he was doing up there. Like, when DJ Khaled starts dropping another one, and we the best, he's uncomfortable. But the best was when he goes, we the best. Best. And I mean that. And I'm like, what? You're DJ Khaled. We know. Like, that's the essence of DJ Khaled is, we the best is supposed to mean something. But he was just so lacking confidence in a man whose entire profession is exuding confidence in crazy areas. And he was very uncomfortable. Then, Bam Adebayo, Udonis Haslem, banging the drum, Bam Adebayo, UD on his birthday, wanted to catch some Panthers hockey, both wearing their own custom sweaters, and it was in for a good night. The anthem didn't even have people chanting night. Like, it seems like those locos are actually starting to get snuffed out, so that's really, really great news. But the Panthers getting out to this 1-0 lead, crowds into it. They start chanting, Skinner, Skinner. They're trying to do their version of Sergey, and it was working swimmingly. The Panthers, though, I mean, just absolutely the theme of this game was just the absolute penalties, like crazy. Again, a very, very wild first period for the Cats. But it was very, very strange, just like how we go. Bob got off in the zone, huge save off the mask. Then you had McDavid trying to go low on him. Rebound. Guy misses, Nugent Hopkins misses the net. So Panthers are in a good spot right now. And then all of a sudden, just left it. Evander Kane, I think, really started this today. And Evander Kane has had a good start to this series. But he went, just absolutely loco today with some of the crazy calls. He cross-checks Forsling when there's 9 seconds left in the Oilers' power play. So it basically goes immediately to a Panthers power play. Tkachuk had a couple of opportunities for some sick assists tonight. He had one to Reinhart, and you were just like, at that point when Reinhart missed this, you were starting to wonder, like, all right, is Rhino in his head a little bit? We would get an answer to that, obviously, coming up very soon. But it was just like, man, if he's not going to get that, which one is he going to friggin' get? But then, like, right after the Panthers get themselves back to where things are, Kane gets a penalty again. He high sticks Marchand, so the Cats go back on the power play. A couple of spots where the Panthers had some chances, but they still couldn't score. Oilers then get called for too many men, so the Cats go back on the power play, but nothing really happens with that one. They end up going to a 4-on-4 because Ekblad trips Nurse. And then Bob had a big, huge glove save. Tkachuk, he had another nice dish. Look at that Rodriguez where he could have converted, and you're just like, man, it feels so much like this is going to break through for the Panthers. It just feels that way. But then the Panthers get their hand caught in the cookie jar. You get Bennett with a high stick, so Edmonton goes it. But really great job by Rhino, by Forsling, Barkey, all doing a good job on that front line. That goes the full 2 minutes on that entire power play. And this was finally the penalty that swung it, because I think it was Armisen who absolutely dump trucked Sergei Bobrovsky with like 2:46 left. Cats go back on the power play again, and finally Swaggy with the blast puts the Cats up 2-0, and you were like, all right, in business here, dude. Absolutely feeling it right now. Marchand is like pointing into the Oilers. I don't know if he was pointing to a bench. I don't know if he was telling the Panthers that we're in their head, or if he was telling the Oilers we're in your head. Whatever Marchand was saying, he knew they were creeping up there, and it was very, very clear. But a great job. Finally, at the end of the whistle, like they're about to go in 2-0 lead, Lundell plays all the way to the end, and Bouchard is just like trying to like mess with him, and Anton Lundell punches him square in the face. Gets called for a penalty, but it was Mr. Las Olas is not to be trifled with, Bouchard. I just want you to I mean, you guys all got the lesson today. Let's be frank about it. You guys all realize what happened, but that was an unwise decision. One of many today. One of the classic things that I love, though, after this, we had Paul Bissonnette blaming the ice. I saw was it Pierre Lebrun? He was blaming the ice, and I got to tell you, the ice looked pretty fucking fantastic to me today. So if once again the national hockey media is going to find another way to discredit the Panthers, I guess just making a montage at this point between state tax, between the Panthers being dirty, between now all of a sudden the ice is no good. Nah, it's only not good when it's not going for your beloved McDavid today, who was not in his top form, probably because he got sent to the moon by Aaron Ekblad today. Panthers did a good job, I thought, making an impact on McDavid, making him uncomfortable. You know, a couple of clean looks, but like not anywhere near what we've seen. The Panthers were able to stifle him and Leon Draisaitl for really the first time this series. It feels like the Panthers have gotten a huge hold. The other thing that should be mentioned, going back to that the power play, was noticeable that it was noticeable that Paul switched it up a little bit, going to that Verhaeghe, because he kind of went to his other unit, and I think they had Benny, you had Hot Rod, Verhaeghe, Schmidt, and Marchand all out there, and they came through. They came through. So Panthers are going to let Edmonton start on the power play here. This would be the lone offense that the Oilers could find all day. Corey Perry gets a rebound, puts it by Bob down 2-1. And then right after this, classic dirty Edmonton Oilers, who were trying all night to gimmick the referees, which I don't know how the Panthers aren't just sitting back howling with laughter. But Skinner does like he's flopping like an absolute fish because Tkachuk is near him. And you're just like, come on, dude. What are we doing here? Then Sam Reinhart, great defensive play by the Cats against the boards. Sam Reinhart comes out blasting, puts it right by Skinner, and you answer back 3-1. Rhino was starting to feel it. You could feel this one was going great. And I think this is probably the play that broke the Edmonton Oilers in this game, because they were horrific all night. But when Sam Bennett lays that monster blast down, and you're just like, oh, that was a hell of a hit that he just laid down. It was on Podskilzen. And he laid his ass out, dude. I mean, laid his ass out. And it was something. It was a beautiful hit. But then Rhino gets going with the fancy work. Eetu Luostarinen. The Cats have a breakaway. Losty gives it up to Benny. Boom. Saves one for the puppies. Let's donate to the pound. Benny's buddies coming through. Sam Bennett, absolute monster this entire friggin' playoffs, but particularly the start of the series. And I got to be honest with you, 14 goals now for Sam Bennett. Probably in line now for the Conn Smythe. Sam Bennett, like, teams may just break the salary cap with trying to get him away from the Florida Panthers just to break up some semblance of the Florida Panthers. Like, I think today, between Ekblad, Marshy, and Benny all scoring, good day for their agents. But I think that you just have GMs probably sitting lonely in their basement watching this game with some whiskey in hand, and they're thinking to themselves, we just got to break these guys up. And they're too good. They're too friggin' good. But that was awesome to put the Cats up 4-1. The ass kicking the route was absolutely on. And, you know, this was and then so they have that moment, and then you have Ekblad with just a clean blast right on McDavid, who does the boot scoot boogie right back to his ass and has to leave for a little bit. He'd come back in the game, but Ekblad took his ass out, man. Bob then had like a sick no stick save. Then we saw McDavid back on the bench. And the thing that's funny is, like, they this is when they started goading Panthers, and they like immediately start with Jonah Gadjevich, which is just a terrible decision. He's an absolute psycho. Dude, like, will clip his skin with scissors in the penalty box. He's not somebody you want to mess with, and it's cool that he's getting more run on this cup run, but because he was absolutely breathtaking today in the way that he whooped the Edmonton Oilers' ass. But they're trying to, you could just tell, like, immediately they're trying to do all they can to goad the Panthers into something. Then Jake Wallman starts squirting water at Seth Jones, and Brian Boucher on the broadcast is like banging on the friggin' on their bench because he's like, hey, what the hell? We got TVs here. And this dude's he's out here playing Super Soaker with his team down 4-1. I mean, it was so clear as day that the Cats were living rent-free in their head. I don't know if they can make up, if they can get an eviction letter by Thursday. They're going to have a couple days to stew on this, so maybe cooler heads will prevail. But you could just see the fray of that team breaking minute by minute by minute. It was crazy. So you have that, but, you know, there was a sick save by Bob where Kane tried to screen him, and like he caught it through legs and whatnot. That was one of his sicker saves. Bob's really going to go unnoticed in today's game because you win 6-1. He was so damn good. I mean, he was in the zone. He was demoralizing on some of these. He was faking guys out, diving with no sticks, turtling up. Bob was just... He's Sergei freaking Bobrovsky, dude. Sergei Bobrovsky is a fucking legend. Like, I mean, there's no two ways about it. The journey this guy's gone on from his start here in Florida to where he is now, where he goes from, you know, a guy who just looks like he's fallen his form and can't live up to a big deal to an absolute certified Florida Panthers legend, and is going to go right there in the rafters with Bobby Lou. It's going to be Bob and Bobby Lou right up there in the rafters for the Cats. It's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful friggin' thing. 32 saves tonight on 33. And if it wasn't for, a ridiculous retaliation shot from Lundell that got penalized, if it wasn't for that, I mean, Bob might have had the shutout today because you only had that one power play goal. So it was, it was something. It was something. And then Lundell, he would draw a penalty, cross-check in with about 44 seconds left. So, like, right as the period ends, Lundy's able to make up for the penalty that he got. And you had Wallman and Nico Mikkola starting to jaw back and forth, which, I mean, fight Nico Mikkola at your own peril, dude. That seems silly. He's part polar bear. And then as the game's going back and forth, you see Marchand and Yamark are going at it because he went after Sam Bennett. It just, like, cheap shots the entire way from the rat bastard Edmonton Oilers. There's good rats that we throw on the ice, and then there's rat bastards. That's the Edmonton Oilers. Paul Maurice, by the way, in the midst of this period, told Jackie Redmond, she's like, yeah, good day for Bennett's agent. And he goes, terrible attitude, has bubonic plague, dengue fever. Well, I don't know if he's got that fever, but I know what he's got. He's got cat fever. But, I mean, there's no doubt. His agent has to be licking his chops. Licking his absolute chops. Third period comes around. Panthers start off, they kill the penalty, and then Skinner, he has a delay of game penalty. The Panthers go back on the power play, and Aaron Ekblad with an absolute snipe to give the Cats a 5-1 lead. Aaron Ekblad's a good boy, dude. He's a good boy. I still don't, think that he meant to take that stuff because he's a good boy and he never would do that. But I tell you one thing that he did do. He did put the dagger in this game, dude, and it was friggin' over. So basically from this point on, it's all basically about the Oilers trying to get some get back on the Cats because they got absolutely embarrassed. And they were just taking cheap shots all the way. I mean, it was crazy. They had like one opportunity on a power play because Greer, after the Oilers got a power play, and even like Thomas Nosek flying all over the place, like getting stops, dude. Couldn't do anything against this Panthers team. All hell really broke loose. Trent Frederick and Sam Bennett get into it. Bennett absolutely whoops him after taking a cross check, just completely obliterates him. And then we have probably the moment of shenanigans on the night where Jonah Gadjevich and Darnell Nurse are getting into it. And, I mean, Gadjevich is just feeding him hammers, dude. And he's, like, all bloodied up on his lip. Then, we could see that Gadji got a little bit of a bloody, I guess, under his teeth. And he is just – this man is a menace. And it's so unwise to want to fight him. But for whatever reason – Edmonton wanted to today. And he's like, just completely like smiling, cheesing, throwing the tongue out. Nurse is like, I don't think I won that. The penalty box was packed. They kicked a ton of people out of this game. And there were still 9.5 minutes left. 9.5 minutes left. Panthers just basically spent the entire time on the power play the rest because all you just had every single time was penalties from the Oilers. Bouchard was slashing Verhaeghe and Kane then hits him in the face. I think what was that? And then Kane got kicked out of the game. So I think that's 3 penalties on the night for him. He was an absolute lunatic, like absolute lunatic. Probably cost. I mean, if you're gonna like, it's in a 6-1 game, everybody's at fault. But Evander Kane's boneheadedness and stupid decisions really set the mark for this game. And he had been playing really well to this point. But it was just disgusting. You had like 3-on-1 Oilers going after Matthew Tkachuk. I don't know. I do know that the Panthers, when this game was over, Evan Rodriguez, by the way, shout out to Hot Rod, making 6-1. He gets another goal. But, like, by the end of it, like, it was even – they couldn't even wait. I tweeted out that they could – when this clock hits 0 and the Panthers get back to the dressing room, they are going to be howling with laughter. They didn't even wait because Corey Perry tries to fight Nico Mikkola, and Nico Mikkola, part polar bear, is, like, just laughing at him. He's laughing at Corey Perry. He's just like, shut up, old man. Sit down. That's Nico Mikkola, dude. So a throttling, a very crucial win, 2-1. We're going to act like we've been here before. I don't want to get too crazy. The Cats did what they were supposed to do. They split in Edmonton. They've taken care of home ice. They got 2 days off. The Oilers are going to figure out if they can get out of if they can get out of the labyrinth that is the Panthers being in their head. But as perfect as it could go tonight for the Cats, really, just top. And even the idea of like Sam Reinhart getting going, like, I would say Tkachuk looked like he had some more juice to him with the 2 days off. They got 2 days off again. It's going to be interesting because if the Cats can take that 3-1 lead, the quick turnaround on Saturday doesn't become as daunting, right? Like, you want to take care of that, and then look, they can take on any adverse. They've done crazy road trips this year, but like that Saturday game 5 with the 1-day travel all the way back to Edmonton, that is going to be that's going to be a hell of a challenge for either team because if anybody gets banged up, there's not that turnaround that's going to be there. So that's for sure an interesting one to watch out. But task at hand, Cats, they win tonight. in easy fashion, embarrassed the Oilers, a disgrace to the sport, and the rest of the media who's out here talking about, oh, the ice is bad. Fuck you. That's bullshit. Anybody who says that is an ass clown and a loser, because the Florida Panthers looked mighty fine skating on that ice. The facts are they greatly outplayed the Edmonton Oilers. So you could talk about bouncy puck. The Panthers and Oilers could play this thing in a lagoon. The Panthers would start slap shotting and pass skating. And by the way, they runned them today. So hell of a win. Right on our way.